Hey guys, what's up? I'm Bryan Mahon, and today I'm going to be showing you how to find all the natural notes on all 6 strings of your guitar. Let's get started. Alright guys, so there's going to be 3 things that we need to know before we start this. We're going to need to know our string names. Low E, A, D, G, B, E. High E. Second thing we need to know is a two-parter. What a half step is and a whole step is. A half step is one note away from the note that you were at. So if I'm on the 3rd fret of the low E, a half step away is going to be the 4th fret. That is also another note. These frets represent notes, so that's why I put notes in the parentheses. Now a whole step is 2 frets. So if I'm on the 3rd fret of the low E and I go to the 5th fret, that means I moved a whole step away from the note that I was at. Now the third thing that we need to know is what I like to call our musical ABCs. So let me expand on just musical ABCs. What I have here is all of the notes that are in music. So we have A sharp or B flat, B, C, C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, E, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat. So these two, not to be confused, these are the same line. It's just since I wrote it on a line, it's in two different spots. So I'm saying that these are sharp or flat. So this isn't really important to this lesson, but just so you know, an easy way to remember how these have these specific names is because of the notes that they're in between. So we have A, and then if we were to go up 1 fret or 1 note, this is A sharp, or if we're at B and we go back 1 fret, that's B flat. That's not always that's just a quick way to figure out what the note is. So like this will not be D sharp because it's not next to D. It's either A sharp or B flat. Now you notice that between B and C and E and F there are no dashes. That's because these note sets, B, C and E, F, these two notes are only 1 fret away from each other. There is no B sharp or C flat. There is no E sharp or F flat. It's just F flat is actually just E. C flat is actually just B, and so on. So what does this look like on the guitar? So we have all of our 6 strings. So we know our string names, low E, A, D, G, B, and E. Now we know what a half step is. A half step would be going from A to A sharp, or B to C, for example, and then a whole step would be going from B, skip over the sharp, or excuse me, A, skip over the sharp and go to B, or C, skip over the sharp and go to D. So we know our string names, so that's our starting point for each string. That's our starting note. So for example, let's start with A. So we're going to start right here. So our starting note is A because that's our string name when we play it open. So that means 2 frets away is going to be B. So 1, 2. B is on the 2nd fret. 1 fret away from B is C. 2 frets away from C is D. And then 2 frets away from D is E. 1 fret away from E is F. 2 frets away from F is G. And then 2 frets away from G, 1, 2, just because remember these lines on the sides are the same note, G to A. So now let's do it on the low E for another example. Our starting note is E, since that's our low E. Now this is also going to be the same for high E. They're 2 different octaves, but the distance between the notes are still the same. So if we're starting on E, we're going to be starting right here. You're always going to start from the name of the string. So we have E. So 1 fret away from E is F. So E to F. 2 frets away from F is G. So that means we'll go on the 3rd fret for G. And then 2 frets away from G is A. And then 2 frets away from A is B. 1 fret away from B is C. And then 2 frets away from C is D. And then 2 frets away from D is E. Now I feel like you guys can kind of put together the last 4 strings, well actually the last 3 because E and E are the same, so whatever you just did on the low E you can also do on the high E. But there's one thing I do want to mention. The name of the string is E, A, D, G, B, E. The 12th fret for every single string is the higher octave of the string name. So we have E, E, A, oops that was ugly, A, D, D, G, G, B, B, high E, higher E, if you want to look at it like that. Alright guys, so that's all there was to this video. It's a very easy concept to understand, but it is a very crucial one, whether you keep going with theory or you just keep going and playing guitar how you always played it. I'm not going to go as far as to say that it is required or absolutely required to play music. That is not the case at all. But I will say, if you take music seriously in any sense, I will say that it makes a world of difference just knowing where your notes are. So it's not that hard to really understand how to find your notes, but I don't recommend focusing so hard on memorizing your notes. That's a lot more work than it really should be. Just understand these three things. Your starting notes, which are your string names, E, A, D, G, B, E, or whatever tuning you're in. So if you're an open D, obviously your string names are going to be starting at a different note, and so on. 2, you're going to need to know your half steps, which are 1 fret, and then your whole steps, which are 2 frets. And then you'll also need to know the distance between each note. So between B and C, there is no sharp or flat, so it's only 1 fret away. It's a half step away. Same goes for E and F. Those are the only 2 spots. And then every other spot is a whole step. So there's a sharp in between A and B. So it goes A, skip a fret, B. So open A string is an A note. 2nd fret on the A string is a B note. That 1st fret is either an A sharp or B flat, however you want to look at it. So that's all there was to this video. I really hope it helped. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below letting me know what you think, whether it's good or bad. And if you want to see more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. Once again, I'm Bryan Mahon, and I'll see you in the next video.